Today we're going to tackle a controversial topic: why minimum wage is a bad idea. Now, before you grab your pitchforks, let's dive into the complexities of this issue. First off, let's address the intention behind the minimum wage laws. They aim to ensure that workers are paid fairly for their labor, lifting people out of poverty and reducing income inequality. Noble goals, no doubt. But as with many well-intentioned policies, the devil lies in the details. One major problem with minimum wage laws is the potential to cause unintended consequences. When the government mandates a higher minimum wage, it can lead to job loss, especially for low-skilled workers. Think about it from an employer's perspective. If they have to pay more for each worker, they might hire fewer workers or invest in automation instead. This isn't just speculation. Numerous studies have shown that minimum wage hikes often result in job losses, particularly in industries that rely heavily on low-wage labor, such as retail and hospitality. Another issue is the burden placed on small businesses. While large corporations might absorb the higher labor costs, smaller businesses may struggle to stay afloat. They might have to cut hours, reduce benefits, or even shut down altogether. This may not only hurt the business owners, but also the communities they serve. I had a chance to speak with a local business owner who shared their concerns about the impact of minimum wage hikes on their operations. Furthermore, increasing the minimum wage can fuel inflation, ultimately eroding the purchasing power of those very workers it intends to help. When businesses face higher labor costs, they often pass those costs onto the consumers in the form of higher prices for goods and services. This creates a vicious cycle where the cost of living arises and the wage increases become a moot point. Now, none of this is to say that we shouldn't strive for fair wages or better living standards for all, but perhaps there are better ways to achieve these goals without the unintended consequences of minimum wage laws. While the concept of minimum wage may seem like a straightforward solution to income inequality, its implementation can have far-reaching consequences that harm the very people it aims to help. It's crucial to consider the complexities of economic policy and explore the alternatives approaches to addressing poverty and inequality. Today we're diving into a topic that's often discussed but not always fully understood: why women are attracted to men with money. So grab a seat because we're about to uncover some interesting insights. First things first, let's dispel a common myth. It's not that women are inherently shallow or materialistic. Instead, it's essential to recognize that attraction is influenced by a variety of factors, including evolutionary biology, societal norms, and individual preferences. From an evolutionary perspective, women may be drawn to men with resources because it signals their ability to provide and protect. In ancient times when survival was uncertain, having a partner who could ensure the well-being of offspring was advantageous. While you've come a long way since then, these evolutionary instincts still influence our preferences to some extent. Furthermore, societal norms and expectations play a significant role. We're bombarded with images of wealth and success in the media, which can shape our perceptions of attractiveness. In many cultures, financial stability is equated with status and security, making it a desirable trait in a partner. To gain further insight, I spoke with a relationship expert who shed light on the impact of societal influences on romantic preferences. Of course, individual preferences also come into play. While some women may prioritize financial stability, others may value qualities like kindness, intelligence, or a sense of humor above all else. It's essential to recognize that attraction is subjective and varies from person to person. Now, before we jump to conclusions, it's crucial to acknowledge that not all women are solely attracted to men with money. Many women prioritize qualities like ambition, integrity, and emotional compatibility over financial status. Additionally, financial stability should complement a healthy relationship, not define it. At the end of the day, it's essential to approach this topic with nuance and understanding. While money may play a role in the attraction for some, it's not the sole determining factor. Building a meaningful connection requires mutual respect, communication, and shared values, or else it won't last. Remember to keep an open mind and embrace the complexities of human relationships. Today's topic is a bit deep, but incredibly important. We're going to delve into the reasons why some men feel financially insignificant in today's world. You see, it's no secret that traditional gender roles have shifted over the years. In the past, the man was often seen as a primary breadwinner responsible for providing for his family financially. But in today's society, things have changed. Women are more empowered than ever before, excelling in their careers and becoming financially independent. Now, don't get me wrong, this is fantastic progress. However, it has left some men feeling a bit lost and insignificant when it comes to money. First off, let's talk about cultural expectations. From a young age, many men are taught that their worth is tied to their ability to provide. This pressure to be the primary earner that can create a sense of inadequacy if they are unable to meet those expectations. Another factor contributing to this feeling of insignificance is the economic challenges faced by many men today. With the rising cost of living, stagnant wages, and job insecurity, it's becoming increasingly difficult for men to feel financially stable. Additionally, the dynamics within relationships have shifted. With more women achieving financial independence, the traditional roles of provider and homemaker are no longer set in stone. While this is a positive step towards equality, it can also lead to confusion and a loss of identity for some men. So what can you do about this? Well, it's essential to recognize that a person's worth is not solely determined by their financial status. It's okay for men to feel vulnerable and seek support when needed. Building strong communication skills within relationships can also help alleviate some of the pressure and foster a sense of mutual understanding and support. The feeling of financial insignificance among men today is a complex issue with multiple contributing factors. By addressing cultural expectations, economic challenges, and evolving relationship dynamics, we can work towards creating a more inclusive and supportive environment for everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that many people wonder about but might not fully understand. What happens if you skip bail? You've probably heard about bail, but what exactly is it? And what are the consequences if you decide to skip out on it? Let's break it down. First off, what is bail? Bail is an amount of money set by a judge that allows a defendant to be released from custody while awaiting trial. It's basically a promise to the court that the defendant will return for their court dates. Now let's say someone is granted bail and they pay it. They're released from custody and free to go about their business until their trial date. But what happens if they decide not to show up to our court? Well, that's when things start to get serious. When you skip bail, you're essentially breaking the promise you made to the court. This can result in several consequences, both legal and financial. First off, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. This means that the law enforcement will actively search for you in order to bring you back into custody. Additionally, the bail money that was paid to secure release will be forfeited. That means you lose the money you paid and it won't be returned to you or whoever posted bail on your behalf. But the consequences don't stop there. Skipping bail can also result in additional charges such as failure to appear in court or bail jumping, which can carry their own penalties, including fines and even more jail time. So if you're ever in a situation where you've been granted bail, it's crucial to take it seriously and make sure you show up for all of your court dates. Skipping bail might seem like a way to avoid consequences in the short term, but in the long term, it can lead to even more trouble. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been raising eyebrows and stirring controversy for quite some time: members of Congress trading stocks. Yep, you heard it right. While they're making decisions that affect the economy, they're also playing the stock market. But is this really a good idea? Let's find out. Imagine this scenario. You're a member of Congress and you have insider knowledge about upcoming legislation that could potentially affect certain industries or companies. What's stopping you from using that information to make a profit in the stock market? Well, currently, not much. One of the biggest issues with members of Congress trading stocks is the glaring conflict of interest it presents. These individuals have access to sensitive information that could significantly impact stock prices. By trading stocks based on this information, you're essentially using their position for personal gain, which goes against the very principle of public service. Now let's talk about insider trading. While there are laws in place to prevent insider trading in the traditional sense, the rules for members of Congress are much murkier. They're not explicitly prohibited from trading stocks based on non-public information they acquired through their legislative duties. This creates a loophole that can be easily exploited for financial gain. Another issue is the lack of transparency. Unlike other public officials who are required to disclose their financial interests, members of Congress are not held to the same standard when it comes to their stock trades. This lack of transparency makes it difficult to track potential conflicts of interest and hold lawmakers accountable for their actions. So what about the solution? Many experts and advocates argue for a complete ban on stock trading for members of Congress. This would eliminate the conflict of interest, prevent insider trading, and promote transparency and accountability in government. Allowing members of Congress to trade stocks is a recipe for ethical dilemmas and undermines the integrity of our democratic institutions. It's time for meaningful reform to ensure that our lawmakers are serving the public interest, not their own financial interests. And as always, take care of your money.